Previously, the player characters were sent by the Duke of York to collect tribute from the Baron of Gaunt. But on the way, they will encounter a grievously wounded man named Luther, whom Apophis recognizes. On the third day, in the morning, you expect to reach Gaunt tonight, but in the morning, you're in mountainous terrain, rugged terrain, I should say. You've gone up, you're going over, so you're starting to get some elevation. I mean, you can look down and see, you can look down and see the valleys that you've come out of, and you're kind of essentially you're not going deeper into the mountains, you're sort of skirting the edge of the mountains on your way to Gaunt, and there's a place where you're going up this road, and there's the road kind of goes up, and there's kind of a shoulder. It's a bit barren in this place, and the road keeps going, and you see a man that you immediately are interested in because he's wearing a headdress like your followers wear. Right. And in fact, it could have. I mean, it looks familiar. Like you're sure you've seen this headdress or at least one like it. At the congregation. Right. At the massacre at Amon's Watch. From a couple of days ago. It might be the same man, but if it's the same man as the guy you remember wearing this headdress, he's in really bad shape. Okay. He is, his clothes are just terribly matted and dirty, and I mean, like horrible, like filthy, grimy, disgusting. Okay. Right. Like somebody who's crawled around a lot in swill and mud and sty. Right. He's got, these fecal matter, and he has and his skin's all gray and festering. Okay. And he rises up, to greet, the party, to see who's coming up the road, and his belly has got this huge wound in it, and in fact, when you look, he's holding his intestines inside of in his belly. Okay. With his left hand. Okay. And with his right hand, he is dragging along the ground as if it's too heavy to maybe lift hardly, or he's conserving his strength or something. He's dragging a plowshare. He's dragging it along the ground, and he's kind of limping and holding his thing, and
me and Rob, I'm moving up. I assume he's moving with me, and I dismount, and I go, brother, what is wrong?
Soon as you speak to him and say brother, you notice he locks on you immediately, and just intently, like you got his attention more than just a greeting. Okay, all right. And you're pretty sure this guy is a guy
one of the guys that
from your congregation.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get up closer to him and
I'll approach him. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, and he's approaching you now too, and he steps up his gait a bit, and you guys
we get close.
We get close as soon as he is within distance to lunge at you. He does so. At the very end, he lunges fast and just takes this, and forgets about his guts, which immediately starts spilling out, and grab
that is most
his plowshare, and takes a swing at you.
Takes a swing at me, which hits me.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So now this is so he takes a swing at you. He hits you for a light wound of like 4 points of damage, and then as soon as that happens, Robin's just immediately on it. Robert just comes up mounted, dispatches this guy and kills him really quickly, and just like hardly knew what happened. Yeah, brave Sir Robin. Yeah, knocks him back on the ground. And doesn't even get off his horse.
Yeah, I'll I'm hurt, but I'll still move up to the guy and say, is he trying to get up at me? Is he?
So so in the process of Robin laying waste to him, he hit the guy's headdress, came flying off, and wounded him in the leg, and again in the arm, and I mean the guy's dying. Yeah, the guy's dying. He falls back prone on the ground, and he's in sort of a death twitch.
I'll move up to him. Obviously, I'll.
He seems to have lost a little bit of that intensity. Like you go up to him, you can see now he's staring off blankly into space, fighting whatever demons in his head, and he loses some of that. He loses that sort of intense, crazy hatred that venom, whatever it was he had.
Okay, then I'll come up to him and say, Rob's still on his horse, right? And so I'll be like, brother, what's wrong with you?
So when he hears your voice this time, it's a different reaction.
Okay.
Like instead of intense hatred, all of a sudden, he is dying. He says he's dying. His gaze is unfocused. But then he hears your voice. He comes in a little bit. He comes back a little bit, and he looks up and he sees you. Sees you.
Sees me.
Sees your eyes, and you feel a connection with him. You'd like, okay, now I'm looking at the real guy here.
Okay.
And it's he's like, Corona?
Yes. I say yes.
It's Luther.
How did you get?
Don't let them take me.
Who?
Don't let them take me. Now, send me a proper, pray for me. So you know what he's asking for
yes.
Is last rites.
The last rites, correct.
Right. And you know that, when somebody dies, their spirit, who knows what will, different things can happen to their soul.
It needs to be weighed by Anubis.
People, what he wants is he wants that journey to the sun.
Right. Yeah, I'll ask him again who's trying to take you.
Don't let me go down. They don't let me go back to that city. And
then I'll start saying the rites.
Yeah, you can tell. It's now. You got to do it.
If I don't do it now, he's going to be. So I'll say the rites.
Yeah, and you see this peacefulness come over him as you're doing the rites, and you do the rites, and right before you get to the last word to seal the rites, there's this scream that you hear from his lips, but you hear a deeper voice coming out of it, like exorcism.
Any of us hear this?
You guys are kind of back, and
do we hear the scream?
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that. Okay, yeah. So let me come back and tell you what.
Okay.
Yeah. So the guy dies for real, and in his last breath, you hear this deep blood crying, and it's kind of like the Exorcist sort of voice comes out, and it's like and you see the look of his eyes go back the way it was, and his soul did not go to the right place. Okay. Next up, the party arrives in Gaunt and learns treason is afoot.